Hey everybody, Jinza here, and welcome to another Small Bytes Plus. So this week we are going to be taking a look at another indie game. So of course, you know the drill, everything that you see is somewhat subject to change. It may not, it might, you don't know. So yeah, just bear that in mind. But it is another promising early access game called Shards of Azuria. So what is Shards of Azuria? Well, it is an isometric adventure game with some crafting elements in it. It reminds me a lot of old school games, and we'll actually get into that when we get into the game. So to start off, I will show you, it does have a very basic character customization. I would like to see them maybe add some more. I'm hoping it's maybe something they add in the future. You have a few different hairstyles. Some of them are a bit crazy to say the least. And you have one of those nice sliders where you can actually like mix the different colours together to sort of make the perfect colour for you. You also can create various different worlds. I do believe they are somewhat different, but the main town is always going to be the same. So we're going to jump onto my character Jinza, and we're going to jump into a world that I've been playing a little of. Obviously it's HywooHearts. So when you start off, you are in this awesome little town. This is the hub. You can't break anything here, but this is where you can get your quests. You can talk to some of the NPCs and get various different weapons, armor, and I think that, yeah, there's even a merchant that sells different placeables if you want to sort of build your own house. You can't build in this place, so if you are looking to build your own little mansion, village, whatever you want to do, you are going to have to do that on the outer world, and we'll actually show you that once we get out there. So you start off here, and as you can see, it reminds me a lot of Baldur's Gate. If you're familiar with that, it was an old isometric game. The controls are obviously a bit different, it just sort of has that familiar feel to it. So you move around with the WASD controls, or you can actually hold the right mouse button and just use your mouse to go around. You click to interact with stuff. Basically, it's a hit everything. You break it, you steal it kind of game. It also has hotbar, so if you're familiar with MMOs and other types of games like that, you do have abilities. Your character does have a persistent level that you gain XP from killing monsters, from turning in quests. And you can level up various different stats. So if we go to the character screen, you can see all your different stats here, what you've currently got equipped. Yeah, so you can level up your strength, agility, intellect, wisdom. You can also increase your health and mana. So it's, you know, it's kind of a build your own sort of character how you want. So, you know, you want to do ranger, you want to be a knight, you know, you want to focus on the mystical arts, you can. And as you can see, the different NPCs have their own character artwork, and it is really nice. I was quite surprised when I first talked to the NPCs and saw this pop up. I was like, wow, that's some pretty nice artwork to it. They give you various quests. Most of them are merchants, so they the quests, I would say, sort of act as a tutorial. It doesn't throw everything all at you at once, so you'll do little bits here and there. So as you can see, my active quest, it says day 1 to 2. So this is kind of what it expects you to do in the first couple of days, because there is a day and night cycle. I would say try and get most of these done during the day, because the night out in the wilderness is very dark indeed. I did say it reminds me a lot of Baldur's Gate, but if you're not familiar with that game, I guess the closest thing that I can think of that come out in the last few years is probably Project Zomboid. It has a very sort of similar setup. Obviously, it's nothing to do with that was to do with zombies and survival. This is a very fantasy-inspired game. So yeah, you have a little town here. Obviously, there's loads of pumpkins and that, because they do actually have a Halloween event on at the moment. There's also a witch here you can talk to, and you can go get a mini quest from her to go do trick-or-treating, so you can talk to the townsfolk. Maybe have to fight some very horrible stuff, or you might get something for free, which is always nice. I also got this little skeleton head from there. So as for the crafting menu, everything is done here. You can scroll through all the different things. As you can see, down here actually shows you what type of work table you need to craft. So to craft the wooden chest armor, I actually need to be at a workbench. You don't actually have to click on the workbench, you just need to be in the vicinity of it. And you can scroll down through here. The crafting menu is a bit finicky if you craft just one thing. Let's actually find something we can craft. So we don't really need any of that. There are different staffs and that. We got a hammer that is doing us for now. Okay, let's just craft one of those. Actually, no, I don't need another workbench, but I'll craft. So as you can see, it shows you how many you can craft. I would recommend, if you want to craft multiples of stuff, to bump this up and make sure, because when you click this, it will craft it, and then you will lose the place on the menu where it was. I would like them to see maybe not having that happen, because it is a bit annoying. But you can also pick up items from your inventory and actually place them in here manually, so it shows you all the recipes I can use with wooden planks. And obviously you can hold, what was it, Alt? No? Shift and right click, that was it. Shift and right click, and it allows you to split stacks, so you can, put stuff in where you want it to. I would probably recommend using that, just finding what you need, because these don't disappear when you start crafting stuff. So, if you don't know how many you want to craft right then and there, you can just sort of leave these in here and craft as you need. So that is the crafting menu. I'll keep pressing escape. It's kind of a bad habit in most games. Escape sort of closes down the menus, and for the most part it does close down most of the menus in this game, but it also brings up the little, do you want to exit save and stuff. As you can see, the game does save automatically, so don't worry too much about messing up or getting crashes, though this game does run really nicely, so I would say it will run on pretty much anything. It's quite smooth. Even when there's a lot on the screen, it doesn't really seem to jitter or lose FPS or anything like that. So this is the, overworld. This is where you do all your quests. You can kill stuff, gather stuff, all that good stuff. So I've built like a little temporary base here. I plan to move it further into the wilderness later. But how this works is basically you can craft any of the, I think they're cubes. I think we have some grass ones we can just show you how to do. Yeah, so grass blocks, you can craft wooden ones, metal ones, stone ones, all the good stuff later on, and you can even buy some from the merchants in there. They are quite pricey, so you probably won't be doing that right at the start. And all you do is right click, and then you can just place them down where you so desire. Obviously, doing multiple stories and that is not really an option. It's a very basic crafting system, building system in this game, but it's more focused on the adventure and finding loot. It has some, I would say, Diablo-esque experiences within it, where you're going into caves and there is tons of enemies later on, so you're going to be fighting a lot, trying to kill a lot, getting a lot of different loot, armors, weapons, and all the good stuffs. So this sort of serves just basically to build yourself a temporary base and place to put where all your crafting stuff in, just so you can come over to your house and it's all there for you. Some of these benches are inside the actual town, but it's definitely a lot easier to have all your different crafting benches in one building. So you can also obviously put chests and storage and stuff later on as well. So as for the combat and that, you basically, if you walk up to something and hit it, a health bar will come up and then you can pick it up. You have to hold R to pick everything up, just for your information, just in case you're like, oh, he's not doing anything, it's not going to, hold R and you can pick everything up. The combat is, I would say, easy to use but hard to master. I say hard to master because you can use just the WASD controls and using the left mouse button to actually attack stuff. but sometimes you will find you actually not hitting what you want to hit. It's actually more beneficial to use the right mouse button to walk and the space to attack. Though, as you can see there, he didn't actually turn around to hit what I wanted him to hit. And this is probably, I guess, a lot of these sort of isometric games suffers from that because of the way the camera's set up. The fact that it's locked to one type of position and it's at an angle, so sometimes you will struggle to even just gathering. Sometimes you'll be trying to gather stuff. As you can see, you've got to get right basically on the space where you want to, what you want to hit and attack. So it'll probably take a bit of getting used to if you're used to more games like, say, just for instance, Terraria, which is 2D, or 3D, the different crafting 3D games. So it may take you a little bit of getting used to if you're not used to these sort of older style games, because a lot of old sort of RPG games were sort of in this style. And that's probably why I like this game so much. It's quite relaxing. It's very peaceful, and it does feel quite rewarding at times. You get different loot. As you can see, we're getting XP there. It's a very slow-paced game, so don't expect to have all the good stuff right at the start. You are going to have to put a bit of work in to start getting it, and it's going to, as I said, take a bit of getting used to pick stuff up. And I guess it can be a bit overwhelming where to start, because there is a lot of crafting and character building to it. And that's why I would like to see some more customization for the characters at the start, because these sort of games definitely thrive on, having your own unique character. It is a single player game. I'm not sure if it will ever be multiplayer. A lot of these games are not usually multiplayer. But yeah, obviously you can use different skills. And how the skills work is you need to kill enemies and get special orbs. Actually, let's turn to night time. So let's go to bed. You can actually sleep during the night to skip the day ahead. I also believe you get some XP for surviving the days as well. So I'll show you that in a sec. But I'll show you the abilities. So the abilities are crafted at the various different NPCs. As you can see, it shows you a different list of all the different NPCs that are in the town. And you need these special orbs that I think I have a couple. Oh, we can actually, no, we don't have any copper yet. But yeah, so you need the different orbs and a certain type of resource to create them. And once you create them, you can socket them into your hotbar. And this will give you extra attacks that can do extra damage. They drain mana, but mana and health do actually regenerate. I think health regenerates a lot faster than mana. But obviously if you up your wisdom and stuff, mana will regen faster. And you can also use items, so you can craft different potions. You can also pick food and that. And you can right click it and eat it. I believe you can also put them or stuff on your hotbar if you pick it up and put it in there. So if you want to quick use anything, you can use your hotbar for that instead of just using it for abilities. It is entirely up to you. I would say in the caves and that, you are going to need a lot of torches because this game does get very dark. It has a mechanic that a lot of older games used where, as you can see, if you haven't got line of sight on stuff, it does go pitch black. This can be quite charming at times because you don't know what's lurking around the corner, but it also can be a bit annoying at times because of the camera, it obviously you struggle to see stuff around. You can also struggle to find doors sometimes, so if you sort of look around here, you probably don't notice, but there's actually a door here to the bedroom. And when you first start, I found myself sort of going around the room trying to actually find the door to start with because it was completely black, pitch black in here, as you see. So stuff can sometimes be hard to see, which is not the biggest deal, but it can be a bit tedious at times. But that's what I say. It's one of the It's one of the things that the isometric views suffer from is just perspective. This game is not too bad. if stuff is in your way, like trees and that, and you're behind the tree, it can be hard to see. But it's just one of those things you have to adjust to. The game itself is very charming. It has, I would say, a lot of potential. They're classing it as an open-ended game, so they plan to continuously add stuff to this in the future. For an early access game, I would say the core mechanics of this are really well fleshed out. It does offer quite a bit of play with what's currently in the game. The controls and the character progression are quite nice. As I said, the controls are probably easy to use. There's not too much to them. But I would say it would take a bit of getting used to master, especially when you get into the caves and there's a lot more enemies coming at you. So let's sleep. So as you can see, you can sleep the night away, restore. That's an easy way to restore your health and that. And eventually the game will advance to day 2. We do have to wait a little bit longer before it gets to the official night time. You do get a notification saying it's really dark, go to sleep. So while it does that, we can actually just sort of wrap this up a bit, because I really just wanted to sort of show you the sort of basic premise of what this is and hopefully get you interested in games like this. As that's what we try and do here on Small Bytes Plus. It's not a detailed review, it's just a little first impressions. There we go. It's late. Let's go to sleep. So this will advance the day to day 3. And as you can see, we actually lost our active quests there because we didn't complete them in time. So we do have more to pick up. And that will give us a basic, I don't know if they're change or not, but we can have a chat to one of the NPCs. Building yourself a home. So I think he just gave us something there. Shard teleporter. So he gave us the ability to teleport home, which is handy later on once you actually get deep into the caves with all the nasty stuff. And you're panicking for your mum and you need to get home. So that is a quick way to get home. But yeah, this has been Shards of Azuria. I definitely would recommend checking out. I mean, the price is pretty cheap, really, for what it offers. I think it's about £4 on Steam, and that's not even including the sales. So, if you're really looking for a bargain, probably wait for this to go on sale. But I mean, even as it is, it's a pretty cheap game, and it's probably going to offer you a lot of playtime if you're interested in these sort of, I guess, retro-esque style games with more modern elements, which is obviously the crafting. That's more of a modern thing. Not many older games had that sort of mechanic in it. But yeah, come on to Shards of Azuria and build your own character and adventure and kill loads of stuff and get good loot. And we will see you next week for another look at some kind of cool game that I really am into at the moment. So yeah, you know what to do. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.